Another day, another avocado and egg toast, and another adventure. It is 6 a.m. I got up at 5. Very early start to the day today. Today was another great day. I did so much. I can't believe this morning was this morning and that I did what I did today. I was not expecting the hike because the hike was so cold. We got there super early at like 10. The wind was, oh my gosh, it was freezing and the wind was blowing so hard. I am so glad I brought my jacket that I had because it's like waterproof and it blocks the wind, and it also has like a jacket on the inside so it kept in the heat. Let me show you. I usually don't wear this because it's huge on me. For some reason I chose to wear it today. But this is it. See, it's like waterproof. And then the inside has this, like, it's really soft. And it kept me so warm. But I think it was so cold just because we got there so early. But it was definitely worth it because we got there before all of the crowds. Yeah, so I went to Mahon Falls, and literally the pictures, all these pictures that I took do not do it justice at all. It was beautiful and it's actually like so huge. It looked like I was on a different planet. We didn't park at the normal parking lot. We parked a little bit further, but most of the way, like on the way up the hill, up the trail, was mostly uphill, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, I would say it was about 1.5 miles. So the trail ended, but there were still some not really paths, but you could maneuver your way around the mountain. And I actually got up so far up the mountain, right by the waterfall. I was so impressed with myself because I literally just wore jeans, and I wasn't expecting to do what I did because when I signed up for it, it was advertised as a light hike, and I ended up on the side of a mountain. I don't know how that happened, but when I go hiking, I go crazy, so honestly, I'm not that surprised.
Just finished a super light hike. Yeah, very, very easy.
This was probably my favorite hike ever because there were sheep and goats all around the mountain, and you could just look up the sides of the mountain and spot little tiny like white dots, which were all sheep. And I actually got super close to them, and it seemed like they were used to it because they didn't run away or anything. I also really liked it because there weren't a lot of trees, so I could see so far out in the distance without trees blocking my view. And also, once I got to the highest point that I got to, I looked out and I didn't realize I was right next to where we were was right next to the sea, so I could look out over the path that I walked, and past that path was the sea, and I thought it was just clouds. Another reason I'm glad we got there super early is because when it started getting a little hotter, a little warmer outside, there was sheep poop um all around the mountain. It was a lot, and it did start to smell a little bit. So yeah, but honestly, I have no complaints because it was I had a great time, and it was one of my favorite hikes that I've ever done. I wish I had a bit more time at Mahon Falls because I really wanted to get to the top of the mountain, but I just didn't have enough time. And side note, I don't understand how that charter bus fits where it does and drives on certain roads, because the roads we drive on are so small. Like, they're literally 2 lanes, one for one way and one for the other way. I could not tell you how it works, but it does, and I just look out the window and enjoy the view and try not to think about it because it does not make sense to me. The roads go opposite ways, and there is literally no shoulder at all. Also, when we were pulling into start our hike, that lane was a literally 1 lane, little tiny side street, and by some miracle the buses made it through. And when we were leaving, I felt so bad because there were so many cars that kept coming, but they all had to back out to let these 2 big charter buses out. And one part of me wonders is this normal? To see big charter buses in these small little roads? Because I think in the US that is definitely not normal. After that, I went to Youghal.
Youghal.
It's a really small coastal town. Kind of like, definitely didn't feel like Cove. It felt like a bigger city just because there were a lot more shops and everything was closer together, but there were definitely not as many people there at all. It felt like a bigger city, but there were way less people. So what I did there was I went into a coffee shop and I got a chai latte, but it took a while to get it because I think almost everybody from my group that went to Youghal ended up at that little cafe. It was called Cafe 108 or something like that. Cafe and then a number. I could tell the workers were so stressed because they were like, "We can't take you now. Please take a seat and then we'll be with you shortly." I felt so bad, but I did eventually get my chai latte. Because it took so long to get it, I didn't get the chance to explore as much of the city as I wanted to. I basically just stayed around the little shops and I walked on the boardwalk a little bit. It was so pretty, but because I stayed around the shops, I feel like I didn't get that good of a glimpse into... I didn't get to explore that much outside of these 2 little streets that most of the shops and touristy spots were. Even though this is considered a touristy town, I didn't really understand how, because almost all of the shops were closed. It's a Sunday, by the way, so that might be a reason. But I think it's a touristy town because of all the beaches that were there. People probably just go there to go to the beaches, but it was cold. But as we were leaving on the buses, we passed a lighthouse and some more scenic areas. So I really think I'm gonna go back to explore those scenic areas and get a better feel for Youghal in general. But you could really tell that it's a tiny town because in the coffee shop there were these little kids that just ran in and started talking with the cafe workers. And even walking down the street, people would walk on one side and then they would see somebody that they knew on the other side, and they would like just talk to each other from across the street. Yeah, you could tell it's a really tiny town and everybody knows everybody else, and they're just like a really close-knit community. That's what it seems like. But this was an incredible experience. I love hiking, and I had a great day trip today. And I got back, I made myself some tacos, and now I'm gonna go to bed probably really early because it is 8:19 because after the trip I got dropped off and I walked an hour back to here, 2 miles back to where I am, and I'm not complaining though. I could walk for days and days and days. I still have so much energy, but I think I should make my body rest because otherwise I will overdo it so much, because I go crazy when I start walking or hiking or go exploring. So have to let myself rest, and I think I'll try new formats in future videos that I make. But I was just so in awe for what I was seeing that I really didn't focus that much on filming while I was there. I'm gonna try different editing styles and different video formats. But yeah, I hope this isn't too boring and that me talking for 20 minutes straight wasn't too bad. But still, so much more that I'm gonna be doing. So I will see you later. Bye. Oh yeah, this is me in the future, like a couple minutes later. I just remembered. I literally thought I shattered my camera. Can you see this top one? I really hope it focuses. I sat on a rock because I was just enjoying the view, and I sat on a rock, not thinking about the phone that was in my back pocket. But I didn't realize until I was hiking back down and I was trying to take a picture that, oh, one of my lenses is cracked. But thankfully, nothing bad. So I thought I shattered it, but thankfully it was just the protector, so my camera is safe. This is your sign to get a protector for your phone camera.